Hello guys, today we are going to talk about the will of God and the obedience and willingness to follow His instruction. While carrying out the will of God, we should also learn to be obedient and follow the instructions that comes with them. In Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 6 tells us that we should not lean on our own thoughts or understanding. Put our trust and confidence in God with all our hearts. As a believer, without knowing the will of God and without obedience, it is very difficult to get whatever you want from God. If you have set yourself to do the will of God, then you should ask God for the obedience and the instruction to follow them. Being obedient to God's instructions will save us from a lot of effort, time, and hardship on our side. Following God's instructions is the easiest way to carry out God's plans. When God gives us a task, He does not need us to carry out the plan on our own, but He needs us to rely on Him because He's the one who is going to create a way to carry out this task. Without obedience and willingness to follow the instructions of God, you can carry out a bigger sacrifice, or you can pray for as long as you want, or you can even fast, but you'll never get whatever you desire. The only right way to get whatever you want from God is through obedience, because through obedience is when you allow His plans and His will onto your life. Being obedient and trusting in God is having confidence on the ability of God to carry out any difficult situation that you may face. Without following the instructions of God, whatever you do is going to be difficult. At some times you may leave it and go on to do something else. But through following the instructions of God, whatever the situation is, whatever the task that you are carrying out is, you are going to complete it because you are following the instruction of God and because you are obedient. In Isaiah chapter 1 verses 19 tells us that if you are willing and obedient to follow the instructions of God, we shall eat the fruits of the land. Therefore we learn that being obedient to the will of God will surely lead to good fruits and good results. The Israelites, while they were in the wilderness, they disobeyed God and went against the will of God. By their disobedience, they angered God, and this led them to troubles and pain and afflictions in the wilderness. They took a longer period in the wilderness than what they could have taken because they did not follow the will of God. They did not put their trust in God, but they put their trust on themselves. King Saul also disobeyed God, and this led to him being removed as king of the Israel. Even after knowing the will of God, we should always learn to be obedient and following the instruction of God, because through these instructions, this is a better way of finding solution to whatever problem that it is. A better way of following God's instructions is by being obedient and following His will, but not ours. Today, while you are praying for the will of God, always pray for the obedience and willingness to carry this task, because through this will and instruction is where you'll get the energy to complete whatever task that is in front of you.